School trips in Africa are like an extreme sport. Why? Because it's fucking Africa, bro. See, unlike our daily lives, which mostly take place in the hearts of big cities like Dar es Salaam, Nairobi, Johannesburg, school trips actually take place in Africa. The one you see in movies and shit. Fuck the cities. I'm talking the heart of Congo, my nigga. The depths of the Ngorongoro crater, the savannas of the Serengetis, bro. Journeys into magical, mystical forests that have healing water and shit, bro. I am not kidding. There are parts of Africa that make you think you're in a lucid dream, bro. From ancient religious sites to enchanted forests, insane camping trips that forever change you, to sunny beach trips that end in crushing heartbreaks. Today we'll be covering all that, and I've got a story for each one. First, we have the camping trip. Now, this is one of the funnest and most intense trips you can have. It literally gives you a glimpse of how you would fare in a difficult situation, because something always goes wrong. I remember going on a school camp trip to a small town called Bunda, and the drive there was not meant to be long at all, but the school bus broke down halfway and immediately panic struck the air. Niggas started losing their cool left and right, bro. The girls were straight up having panic attacks. Why? Because Bunda is right next to the Serengeti, meaning at any time, shit could get real bad. Not to mention, it was starting to get dark. This immediately separated those who were survivors from those who wouldn't last a day in a zombie apocalypse. And unfortunately, your boy would not have survived either. This happens all throughout the trip. It's like the universe has the same built-in theme for every school camp trip. When it got to nighttime, the boys were separated from the girls, so we had 3 tents for boys and 3 for girls, with each tent holding about 4 people. Now, with us being the horny, gooned out kids we all were, we of course had the girls sneaking into some of our tents and vice versa, which was strictly not allowed. The trip itself lasted 3 nights and 2 days, and so this worked for like the first 2 nights. But of course, niggas got too comfortable with it, and by the 3rd night, every single tent had a mix of guys and girls in it. Most of us were just telling stories and teasing potential couples here and there, but there were always a few people who got way too freaky for me to animate it here. Anywho, in my tent sat me and a very close friend of mine called Des. Whole time, I was holding residual feelings for this girl named Sarah, whom I had just recently broken up with a few months prior. Lots of confusion, pain, and desire? Deep down, I honestly really wanted her to be the one I was talking to in our tent so we could clear things up, but instead her best friend, who was crushing on me only because I had bought her cookies one time, came to me instead. She and I chopped it up for a few minutes before I mentally made the decision to go find Sarah, but right then and there, guess who shows up? Sarah. She steps in the tent, completely ignoring my presence, stares me in the eyes, and greets Des with a kiss on the cheek, bro. Shattered, I fell down to my knees, bathed in emotions I couldn't even describe. Suddenly, everything goes quiet, and immediately, a flashlight shines through the fabric of our tent. Outside, towering over our tent, stood a teacher, and we had been caught. I don't really know what it is, but I think due to the raw freedom and survival nature of these camping trips, people just always seem to unleash their true colors and emotions in ways you've never seen before. It gives you a taste of the real world, where survival and freedom are the core themes that govern your interactions with everyone else. In school grounds, you experience a filtered and controlled version of your classmates, but in a 3-day-long camping trip, the rules are cut down in half and everyone's primal nature is suddenly revealed to themselves. Next up, we have the cultural heritage trip. This can either be the most boring or profound trip of your school life, especially in Africa. See, as I grow up, I continue to realize just how unbelievably ancient, mystical, and straight up magical African culture and history is. Unlike its mainstream portrayal through Western media, Africa is actually full of rich history and naturally occurring phenomena that would be considered supernatural by most standards. When I was younger, my class and I had a school trip to Bujora, a Sukuma tribes village located in the east of Mwanza in a city in Tanzania. There we learned about the magical history of the Sukuma tribe with tales and folklore accounts of people stopping arrows with their minds, bro, and calling forth rain at will. These stories baffled our minds with childlike wonder, but before we could even process all that, we were introduced to a show that would forever change our lives. A group of men dressed in traditional clothing, dancing with massive snakes, cobras, pythons, the whole 9 yards, man. They would weave hand signs like ninjas in Naruto, bro, and the snakes would move, dance, and respond to them. They would use drumming to induce a hypnotic trance-like state to themselves and the snakes, allowing them to communicate in ways we don't understand. This was an incredible sight, one that most of us would only fully comprehend as we got older. Trips like these, especially ones that demonstrate near magical feats, really make you question everything about the world around you. But also, my boys and I ended up sneaking away from the group, and we ended up stumbling upon a bunch of naked tribesmen bathing in a river. And I'm not gonna lie, bro, these Sukuma folks were packing. I mean, just imagine being a 14-year-old witnessing a guy with 12 inches. 12 inches soft, bro. Safe to say we saw a lot of different kinds of snakes that day. Next, we have the shared school trip. This is a school trip shared by two different schools. Now, this is an interesting one, as it can go one of two ways depending on whether your school is a mixed gender school or a single gender school, i.e. an all boys school. I've experienced the latter with me being in an all boys school and sharing a trip with an all girls school, so I'll talk about that. First of all, the days leading up to it are almost full of more excitement than the day itself. You'd walk into the dorms and hear everyone talking and fantasizing about doing things with the girls that they'll never actually work up the courage to do. These trips were never about the subject itself though. They were always about testing to see if you were really that nigga. These trips could go so many ways, man. You'd see your friends getting rejected left and right, but you'll also see the most unexpected dudes spitting game that even Shakespeare couldn't come up with. Niggas straight up singing songs of Solomon, bro, to these girls, and they were folding for it. These trips were the most anticipated events of the year, and rightfully so. They gave you an opportunity not only to talk to the opposite gender for once, but to also broaden your understanding of social dynamics between the opposite sexes. I learned that I had a lot of anxiety through these events, so much so that I'd sweat under my arms a little just while talking to girls. But I also learned that I apparently was able to fake confidence so well that it translated into an abundance of charisma in real life. I say this not to glaze myself, but rather to highlight the very real impact of these trips. It wasn't about the subject, it was about the social interactions. And I think the teachers knew this too. And finally, we got the beach trip. This is like that one beach filler episode in every anime. Everyone's acting like we're on vacation, and honestly, it kinda is. These trips were always a good time. Carefree vibes fill the atmosphere, and there's almost never any drama. However, there's always that one guy that swears they can swim, but ultimately ends up drowning and embarrassing themselves in front of the girls, cause fuck it, why not? Now, I'm a really good swimmer myself, and I was one of the fastest in my school, but it was during a trip like this, where immediately after I jumped off the rocks into the water, a girl of significantly greater weight than mine had the bright idea to jump right after me. I swear, time seemed to slow down, and before I even hit the water, I could see her colossal body towering above me. And as I hit the water, so did she. And I instantly felt a crushing wave hit my spine like an 18-wheeler, bro. The wind was immediately knocked out of me. I quickly reached the surface for a gasp of air, and that's when I realized I couldn't breathe, bro. Panic ensued, and had I been a slightly worse swimmer, I would have probably died.